Okay, so welcome everybody to this webinar. Today we're going to talk about welcome positive attitude for youth. Beginning with a little introduction, this is the points that we're gonna talk. Why did we propose this project? The justification of the proposal, the objectives of the projects, how many have we done this? We're gonna talk about also the activities and finally the intellectual results. About why did we propose this project? We found three reasons why. The first one is the current situation of mental health in young people and in the workplace. The second one, the relevance of the role of mental health in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. And finally, the third one, the need to work on mental health in society. Talking about now the justification of the proposal. The needs to be met by the project activities are as follows. For NGOs, create proactive and healthy work environments that promote teamwork, creativity, and innovation. For youth workers, enhance the problem-solving skills, manage work-related stress, balance work and private life, prioritize physical and mental health, and strengthen empathy and teamwork. For young people, build self-confidence, improve emotional management, and problem-solving skills. Use dialogue for expression, overcome social pressures, use social networks healthily, and adopt a healthy lifestyle. The objectives of the projects are foster positive attitudes in young people and youth workers to improve physical and psychological well-being through individual and collective practices. Develop and test good practices within 240 young people to help them face daily challenges, build self-confidence, and reduce the negative effects of digital networks. Train 20 youth workers on maintaining a healthy lifestyle and understanding the mind-body connection, enhancing their capacity of introspection and mentoring. Create proactive work environments that encourage creativity, innovation, and collaboration, promoting balanced routines and positive life approach. So talking about now how have we done this? We've done this for the project management, the WP1, the WP2 research and resources, WP3 positive attitude for youth workers, WP4 positive attitude for youth, and finally WP5 dissemination and follow-up. Let's see the WP2 research and resources. Positive attitude competencies quiz for youth. Then positive attitude competencies quiz for youth workers. Positive and negative thinking in the digital world. Focus groups. Be digital, be safe, toolbox and research. And finally, master mindset, digital platform. Talking about now the WP3, positive attitude for youth workers. First point, emotional intelligence at work, LTTA for youth workers. Harmony in an office, podcast creation. The body-mind training, LTTA for youth workers. The mind-body connection, training video creation. Let's see now the WP4, so positive attitude for youth. The 2 points are positive attitude workshops for local youth in 4 partner countries and the sharing box creation of the content. See now the WP5, dissemination and follow-up. We have 3 points. We pay attention, dissemination webinars with indirect stakeholders. You are in your mindset, multiplier event, and online dissemination. Okay, the presentation of the project is now done, and now I'm going to present my experience as an Italian volunteer in Spain and the mental health that is important for a volunteer, as you will see by my experience. Okay, so this is the content that I'm going to talk about. Firstly, the introduction, then the adaptation that I had to learn while moving, right after moving to Spain, the positive effects of moving abroad. Then point 4, emotional and psychological difficulties. Point 5, the balance between opportunities and challenges. And finally, the conclusion. I'm Gabriele. I'm 23 years old, and I come from Trento, a little city in the north of Italy. I decided to become a volunteer in Spain, especially in Granada, because I wanted to move abroad for a period of time, especially to Spain, in order to discover more about the traditions and the culture of this beautiful country, and to practice my language. I work for an association that is called Somos Europa, and we organize activity. We mainly organize activities for young people. For example, last summer I worked for a summer camp. We also organized internships and exchanges. Now we organize activities in the center of Granada, for example, debates, coffee languages, and so on. The main point of this presentation is basically to give you my point of view of moving abroad and all the difficulties, worries, and so on that I had while right after moving here. So let's see first the process of the adaptation after moving abroad. Right after moving abroad, I found a new environment I had to live in, a new city with new timetables, for example, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then I found myself in a new country in which they spoke language, a new language, so Spanish. I already knew Spanish because I studied it at school, but I had to be used to a new accent that I didn't study, I didn't learn at school because I was taught just the standard Spanish. I had to get used to new cultures and new traditions. Another aspect, let's say negative aspect about moving abroad is the loneliness during my everyday life, especially in the first period of time that I was here. I had to get used to be alone and spend most of the times alone in the house. Let's see now the positive effects of moving abroad on mental health. I divided the positive effects into 3 categories: the personal growth, the social integration, and the sense of personal fulfillment. Talking about the personal growth, I had the opportunity to get to know myself more. I had so much time to spend alone by myself, thinking about what I was doing, if I was doing it right or wrong. And this contributed to improve my self-esteem and my confidence. Secondly, about the social integration, I had to adapt to a new social context, develop new friendships. I got to know a lot of new people while living in the small town I live in, and also in the main city, Granada. And this made me improve my emotional well-being. Talking about now the sense of personal fulfillment, the importance of a volunteer is to help other people, but also to be helped. This gave me a sense of satisfaction while helping people, because I was part to contribute positively to improve, I don't know, like the lifestyle, or like simply getting part to improve the activities in the town. Let's see now the emotional and psychological difficulties that I have been facing during my volunteer. I divided them also into three parts: the anxiety and stress, the importance of being supported, and the crisis moments. Talking about the anxiety and stress, I had so much moment of, no, let's say that I didn't have so much moments of anxiety and stress. But for example, the first weeks that I was here alone, because I was the first volunteer that came here, I was thinking about what I will be doing during my volunteer, and worrying about the responsibilities that I will have, the conflicts that I could have had within my colleagues and the other volunteers and my friends, and especially the fear of not being able to adapt. Secondly, about the importance of being supported. This is another main thing. I had to find like support, both professional from friends and volunteering colleagues, to manage my mental health, and especially my volunteering, asking them how I was doing it, if I was doing it right or wrong. And then another main point is the crisis moments. I still have my periods of loneliness, the times and the moments I'm in the house, thinking about my family and my friends that are living far away from me right now. But it's also thanks to them that I go on with this volunteer, and I'm still motivated about going on. Let's see now the balance between opportunities and challenges. The strategies that I have implemented to maintain a good emotional balance are, for example, meditation. I'm talking about meditation not in sense of yoga or something, but just especially, just basically spending time alone, thinking about what I was doing, and thinking how I can improve myself, and like make a balance of emotions and the things that I'm doing. Then sports, especially going out, discover new places by myself, or also with the other volunteers, like breathe fresh air, or like just walk in the nature. Another important aspect is to keep in touch with my family and my friends back in Italy, because as I said before, they are really helping me keeping motivated with this volunteering. If it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be so much difficult. Then the life lessons I have learned so far are, for example, taking care of my mental health during my experience in Spain. I know now that sometimes, like, it's okay to be surrounded by other people, but it's also important to be alone and to think about myself, my future, and the present. In conclusion, I'm really enjoying this volunteer that I'm doing here. I'm meeting so many people every day. I learn so many new things and skills about Spanish, and I really like the thing I'm doing with my association. So I really recommend you, if you're thinking about moving abroad simply, or also to become a volunteer, I really recommend this opportunity to you all. The practical advices that I can give you is to always think about yourself, taking, as I said you before, some moments in a day or in a week or in a month, it doesn't matter. Some moments in which you really think about, like you put in on a paper the things you're doing, the things you're doing not, how you can improve, and so on. So as I said, I really I really recommend you this opportunity to become a volunteer. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And now we are going to give the word to Antonio, who will introduce a little bit more about the mental health and the situation in the youth field. So Antonio is starting, so he has a little problem. So we are solving, and we hope that we can restart in 1 minute.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, but as soon as you introduced me, I had encountered some problems, but hope now everything is fine. Can you see?
Yes, we can see. I think that it's working.
Okay. Wait. Yeah, I would like to have the entire. Do you see the entire desktop?
Yes, we see the main slide plus the next one. So,
Okay, let's do this. Okay, now I don't know why it's working this way, but okay, no. By the way, we can go on.
yeah,
Thank you for introducing me. I'm Antonio Forchia, Career Guidance Counselor at Job Center in Vibo Valencia. Today, I thought to focus about not only mental growth, but also emotional intelligence. So how do we prioritize, there it goes, late, but it works. Okay. How do we prioritize mental health? Can you see the switching of slide?
yes,
Okay.
we can see the slide.
First of all, let's start from some definition. How do we define mental health? It's a state of well-being, so something that can change because a state usually it's a current situation, okay, and involves the mind's ability to process thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in a way that can help a person to cope with their challenges, okay, and maintain positive relationships to make a contribution to their community. Because we are living in such a place, and of course, either we are at work or in another place. Unless we are at home, we are with other people, or extended the concept we are living in a community, okay, and it encompasses the way we feel and think, how we manage stress and make decisions, okay. A sentence that I really like is your mental health is a priority, your happiness is an essential, but your self-care is a necessity, because without self-care you cannot, without helping yourself, you cannot help other people. So the starting point is about taking care of ourselves, okay. So this is an interesting picture I surfaced on the web, and what I do like is the thinking of it as this. We have through our thoughts, so bottom down to the left, we can have emotions. We experience emotions. So we think about something. Okay, our mind actually is working as it was really as we were really living that experience. So we go through some emotions, and from that emotion we do act. Okay, so the actions are the consequence of emotions that are consequences of our thoughts. So if we take care of our thoughts, we can take care of our actions. We can understand what we do and do it consciously. Okay. So key elements to define mental health: emotional well-being, which is the one we are going to focus on. That is the capacity to understand, express, and regulate the emotions. Okay. While psychological well-being, it's more about having a sense of purpose, self-acceptance, personal growth, autonomy, and the ability to form positive relationship with others. Um, Social well-being has to be with the connection with other people. Okay. Then we have ability to cope with stress, which is, of course, the comes also from the concept that the more we are take care of ourselves, the more we are able to cope with the stress and be able to interact with other people and with our community. Okay. Self-actualization, what is it? It's the potential of a person to grow, develop skills, but also to achieve their own fulfillment and be satisfied, okay, by their own action and their life, okay. So in order for this to work, we have to understand that it's not only the absence of mental illness. So it's not only, okay, we are not ill, we don't have any problem in our mind, in our body, so everything is okay. But it's also the presence of positive qualities. So it's, let's say that it's not neutral, has to be positive. The way we think, the way we take care of ourselves and of other people. Talking about emotional well-being, what can we do? We can do a daily emotional check-in. What is it? Is understanding, expressing, and regulating our emotions. How do we do it? We can just simply ask ourselves, how do I feel right now? Okay, so to identify that emotion, and then we can rate our mood. Okay, am I a 2, a 3, a 5? Am I 10 out of 10? So am I so happy? Let's say. That I can rate myself 10. Usually when we are at our lowest, it's easier to to rate ourselves because we are like, okay, everything is going badly, so I'm so down, I'm at 0. But when you are happy, it's the same. Okay, it's more difficult instead to identify the intermediate grade. Okay, and identify the triggers. What are the triggers? Triggers are everywhere. In whichever time I find myself in, for instance, I'm at the bar speaking with to my friends or with my family at home or the job place. And what happens is that we do interact with other people. So we do get triggered. And also they get triggered because we all have some unsolved issues. Okay, let's call them this way. What can we do? Write down anything that affects our mood so we can start to understand where those triggers started. Okay, so at the work, with the relationships, with the sleep, for instance. Okay. Then we have another technique, which is journaling. Journaling is very easy. So you write down things you're grateful for each day, but you can also tell them out loud. For instance, I do use them usually in the morning. I'm grateful for this life. I'm grateful for having this and that, for my job, for a family, for a roof above my head, and everything else. Because trust me, this is one of the most easy but also potent way to feel to feel better, to feel in a way that you can rate yourself like 10, 7, 8, because that's being grateful for having life, for being alive, and having something to share with other people or with yourself, in case you don't have anybody close in intimacy to at that moment. So through writing, it's like from 5 to 10 minutes, writing what comes to your mind. Then we have a mindfulness practice. Thanks to Gabriele that introduced the concept. There are different techniques, for instance, and different moments. I can be mindful. For instance, you can do mindful eating. Okay, so while I'm eating, I focus on the moment. I concentrate myself in the moment. I can taste the food. Okay, what color is like? What's the taste? What's the mixture, the consistency, and everything else, so that I'm present with myself in that moment. Okay. Then we have body scan. Body scan means simply lay down and start going through over my body with the sensation, with the mind. So we stop the mind by focusing on the breathing, but we start focusing little by little from the head down, for instance, from the head to the eyes, to the nose, etc. Isn't that difficult? Actually, it's quite easy the second, the third time you try it, and it's very functional. It works a lot, at least in my experience and the people I know. We have then also the technique of daily affirmation and positive self-talk. We already saw this. For instance, I'm good enough. I'm great. I'm doing great. We can also focus, for instance, on something positive that happened to us during the day, during the morning, or the day before, okay? And we talk to ourselves, basically. Talk in a good manner, okay? Then we can have movement and physical activity. So we, of course, this is recognized by science since the start of the time, that going outside, doing some sport, even in your home, at your house, wherever you find yourself, you just can stretch, okay? Your body can shake off, just shaking, you know, like the head or the legs, the arms, and everything. That helps a lot. For instance, who played football, but also some other sports, it's accustomed to this kind of practice, because they usually use it during the training, before or after. Okay. Then we have breathing exercises. This is another technique. There are different breathing techniques. Okay, you can go and look it up on the internet. It's quite, it's full crowded of information. Then we have diaphragmatic breathing. That it's actually the one, the most important one. Why? Because focusing, you know, we have three brains. Okay. I used to say, I prefer to say that we have two brains. So we focus either on the stomach or on the mind. Even though our third brain would be the heart. Okay. But let's stay with the two brains. So if I switch the focus from my mind to my stomach, everything starts changing, because I'm putting my energy in a place that, let's say, removes the sensation of feeling overwhelmed that comes from the mind usually. Okay, because first we have thoughts, then emotions, and then actions, we said. So if I go to the mind, it's easier. But first, since going to the mind, it's a bit like going to the final monster, let's say, we can start from breathing from the stomach, from the diaphragmatic, actually, which is not the stomach, but we feel our stomach. We can, for instance, put a hand on our stomach and feel the sensation of feeling and breathing in and breathing out. Okay. Then we have emotional regulation. What is it about? Well, we can start by naming the emotions, because it helps to recognize them, okay, to identify them. Another rule should be to accept the emotions, don't judge them. So whatever I feel like, for instance, I feel very, very sad at this moment. It's not a bad thing. It's just the way you are feeling. So you have to accept your emotion. You have to embrace them, to hug them. You have to hug yourself, because those emotions in that moment are part of yourself. So you cannot reject them, because if you judge them or reject them, you are judging and rejecting yourself, because it's a part of yourself, you know. So what is the difference between emotions and feelings? Let's say that emotions are more something related to the reaction of events. So it's a release of chemicals in the brains, while feelings, it's how you feel inside your body. So feelings, you feel it, for instance, upon your skin. Okay, it's a physical sensation, and we can use them as messengers from the body. Okay, emotions are automatic and unconscious. So, for instance, after you fight or flight, freeze, and you have those kind of emotions, you know, like you're fighting, you feel angry, you know. But in terms of feelings, they are more conscious. So you can more understand the feelings. They're more direct. Okay. Emotions are instant. Feelings may or not be related to emotions. So feeling tired. I feel tired. What do you mean by feel tired? I just feel tired. It's easy to say it, because you recognize it. Okay. So emotions are more difficult to recognize sometimes. And the universal emotions, the basic emotions, are fear, anger, joy, sadness, disgust, and surprise. I don't know if you watched Inside Out. That's a very interesting, but also scientifically proven movie. Feelings are varied. For example, you may experience anger through feelings of aggression, rage, withdrawal, vengefulness. So you want to take like revenge. Okay, so you feel anger, but anger comes from that feeling, from that. Why do we need to identify the feelings? Because the feelings sometimes, oftentimes, is the trigger of the emotion. Okay, so I do feel this way, so it means that my emotions are this and that. Okay, if I identify the feelings, then I can more easily identify my emotions. So some emotions are joy, anger, surprise, disgust, shame, love, sadness, guilt, fear. What do they mean? Fear means that you have to protect yourself. So it's your mind, it's your body that is speaking to you. Love, something is going well here. It means that you feel some love, outward or inward. So someone is loving you, or you are loving someone. So something is going well, and you recognize it. Okay, but let's try to start give them the name. I feel guilt. Why? Because I did something wrong, or something went wrong, and did I correct that wrong? Can I correct that wrong? That's another topic. Shame. So when you feel shamed, for instance, you did something wrong, you may feel guilty or ashamed. But when you feel ashamed, it's because it's an emotion. So it's a sensation that you feel within yourself, but has to do with other people. So you can feel guilty, okay, and being alone, but you can and also be shamed and be alone. But when you feel shamed, has to do with self-acceptance, for instance. Because if I accept myself and the way I am, I can still feeling shamed, but very less shamed compared to when I do care too much about what other people think about me. The same goes with the others. Okay. Yeah, here some. This is a kind of, let's call it star. It goes. Why do I show you this? Because it's funny to see that we give colors, for instance, to rage, to anger, to annoyance. Why do we give the red? Because it's connected. Talking about holistic approach from the Eastern countries, it's related to the lower chakra. Okay. So we can make some comparison. For instance, why do we put yellow in ecstasy, in joy, in serenity? Because if you, for instance, let's put it simple. If you put on a shirt, a yellow shirt, it's more probable for you to get the energy to feel more dopamine. So to get more dopamine and to trigger your dopamine and feel like in ecstasy, in joy, in serenity. So try to think also about in terms of colors. Usually it's very used in marketing. If you next time you go and buy a product, try put some focus on the way they built the packaging. So did they use what color did they use? Why did they use that color? What do they want to trigger in us? Okay, to draw from us. Okay, because they draw you thanks also not only to words, to the concept of the product, but also to the color. Survival issues. Okay, let's just do a couple of them. For instance, we have the stimulus event in yellow, the joy, the first one. We have the gain of valued object. Okay, so what is the appraisal? To possess. Okay, I do possess something. Okay, so once I get something, which is the stimulus, and let's say cognit, it means that I, with my mind, okay, I do recognize I possess that object, or I achieved, for instance, that result. What is the subjective reaction? Joy. Oh yeah, I did it. For instance, I had to write a project. I did it. I wrote it. I had to carry out an activity. I did it. Okay, so I possess that achievement. Okay, it's mine. So what do I want to do? To retain, to keep it, or to repeat it. What is the function? To gain resources. So the function of possession. So what is this useful for? Because in terms of what is the function? Okay, for instance, I want to feel safe. Okay, if I want to feel safe, I will be triggered by fear. What is fear? As a cognitive appraisal, so with my mind, is something that's dangerous for me. My mind is telling me, no, that's dangerous. So you feel fearful, okay? And the stimulus is a threat. For instance, someone is telling you, oh, please don't do that because otherwise I get angry. So you feel like threatened, you feel in danger, you feel fear, you escape because you want to be safe. That's the way we read this model, okay? The basic emotions, again, for instance, anxiety, how to manage it. If I feel anxious, use the worry monster or jar. Take deep breaths, no? Use a grounding technique. Grounding means to be at the present moment, right now, okay? So not to anxiety, usually is related to the future. Why do I feel anxious? Because I'm thinking about the future. But are you living the future? No, you're living the moment. So stay back from the future, hold back, come here again in the current moment, live with us, take deep breaths because you focus on the breath, so you focus on the diaphragm and you are grounding, okay? Otherwise, talk to an adult, that's another way. Anger, sadness, how to manage anger, exercise. I do prefer doing exercise or, for instance, yeah, also breathing activity. That's always helpful. Sadness, do some mindful mind, guys. It doesn't mean that the ways to manage are the way to judge or to reject them. It means that we first have to accept them. Then, how do we manage with them? How do we canalize them? How do we express them? How do we outlet? Do we get them out of our body? Because, okay, we have to accept them, to leave them, but then we have to leave them, okay? So remember that it's just a moment. If you're sad, think about something happy. But it's quite, you know, it takes practice. Everything in life takes practice. Then we have joy. Keep on smiling. Share your joyness, your joy. Ennui, embarrassment. Okay, envy, disgust, and fear. The 9. This is Inside Out number 2, the movie. Okay, because the first one has only 5 of them. For instance, from joy to joy, what is born? Ecstasy. Sadness plus sadness, despair. When you are in despair, you are like not depressed, but almost. Okay. From disgust, so green plus green, disgust plus disgust comes prejudice. So when we judge, actually it's because we are disgusted. Twice, disgusted twice. Okay. Fear plus fear comes terror, because I'm triggered so much that my fear is blowing up. And anger plus anger is rage. So square anger, let's call it. Emotional regulation strategies, we saw them, name the emotion, validate them, identify triggers, meditation, talking to someone helps a lot, sharing, journaling, so keeping for yourself, but put white on black on white. Notice when you need a break, good sleep, at least 7 hours, let's say. Consider 7, but would be better 8. Consider therapy with a psychologist or a therapist. Emotional well-being, boundaries, and energy management. So reflecting on your boundaries. Do I say too much? Yes? No? Am I agreeing with that person? Am I just being too kind, too yes man? That's not good, guys, and I suffer from this, to be honest. Energy check, so assess the activities, the people, the environment, so everything that has to do with you, everything that surrounds you, because it can either boost or drain your energy. There are some, but has not to do, you may transcend sometimes, because when someone, for instance, you think that someone is not likable to you, you don't like a person, okay? That hasn't to do with liking or not a person. That has to do with, in that precise moment, you do not match well with that person, with that energy, with the energy that person is carrying, but has nothing to do with the person. Because maybe, for instance, I've just had a bad day. Okay, you interact with me. I'm coming from a bad day. You are interacting with me. I yell at you. So in that precise moment, you, for instance, you're happy because you did some meditation. You don't want to interact with me. But please don't judge my anger, my sadness. Just be aware that everybody goes up and down with emotions, with the energy also, with the energy field, because we are surrounded by an energy field. This is science, of course. So understand what helps you and what not. Okay, easily. So visual reminders, for instance, inspirational notes. I'm using them. For instance, I get in the car. I I put a post note. For instance, awaken, smile, be happy, remember that you are worth, etc. Because sometimes, I mean, not sometimes, our focus lasts 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, I lost you. I lost you so many times by speaking in this intervention, because after 3 seconds, our mind thinks about something else, goes away. Okay, our attention drives away. Social connection, as Gabriele, for instance, brought, he would speak with the family, the friends, because this doesn't need any scientific proof or speech. Proactive active listening. So be focused when someone, especially someone you love, is speaking to you, because that means giving your energy away to that person, but you love that person. And if that person loves you back, probably if you love that person, it will relate. You will have a benefit. You both have a benefit. Okay, let's talk about well-being and work performance. So, why do we speak about this? Because the emotions, we have been speaking about 25 minutes now, influence the productivity. So everything comes from productivity. We live in a capitalist society, okay? Then emotional well-being helps in managing stress and interpersonal, so between people, interpersonal relationships, which we saw they are crucial, not only in the workplace. Chronic stress, anxiety, depression, everything else can help you if you're able to cope with them. Can help positively not only the human being, but also the actions of the human being. Okay, healthy management of emotions can improve resilience, what we just said. Okay, so at work we know that almost 60% of the world population is working. Okay, all workers have the right to a safe and healthy environment, at least on the paper, okay, because they have to provide us with a livelihood, so the means to live a good life, a sense of confidence, purpose, achievement, positive relationship, inclusion, and routines, because humans love routines, okay. What is the average working hours? We can see in Canada, France, Japan, UK, US, it's more or less everywhere the same, from 246 to 250, 54. Okay. So it means that we are all the same, pretty much all the same. What changes is the average working hours. For instance, in a week, if you work in South Africa, you work more compared to Netherlands. Why? Because of labor productivity. So if I build a Tesla, if I build a smartphone, an iPhone, if I build something that is very valuable, okay, that it costs a lot, and I used less time compared to other countries, that increases the productivity. Instead, if I, for instance, build I don't know, an object that a pencil. Okay, a pencil costs very little. Okay, with €1 you can buy even less in some countries. So the less valuable the product or the services you are offering in the market, and usually the lower is the labor productivity. Okay, what is the impact of poor mental health at work? 34% of employees have stress as experience and have a negative impact on them and on the production, on the productivity. Only 20%, although say 21% say that they report mental health impacts on productivity at work. 73% from home, they say that it's too much. 61% of employees never sought for help, and it's very, that's very critical. 53% of workers have a negative impact on productivity. That cited tiredness. Okay. Mental health challenges. So we have to cope with stress, anxiety, burnout, harassment, mobbing, depression, and others. Okay. And is working from home a solution? Probably not. At least not for everybody, because 67% of people working from home say that they felt less connected to their colleagues. So they would like to be more connected, it means. And 56 said they found it harder to switch off. Okay, because you literally take your work home, okay, at home. Mental health charity mind, this is the source, publish a report. Sorry, I'll be faster. Of employees say that they would feel more motivated to recommend the organization as a good place if they employer took action to support mental well-being. So usually, if you have small enterprises, they don't take those actions. They don't support mental well-being. So what can we implement? Let's go ahead. What can you do? This is much more important. Talk about your feelings. So if you feel stressed, anxious, in burnout, and all the things we saw, you can talk about your feelings, not only at work, but also with partners, friends, family. So this is a first action you can take. You can be mindful of your activity levels. Am I sleeping well? Am I generally, how do I feel? It's my self-esteem good? It has to do with my job, with the things I do. Eat well. Drink sensibly. Of course, drink water. Manage your relationships, because we saw that they are very important, because otherwise, how can you talk about your feelings with people you don't feel intimacy? What can you do else? Ask for help to a specialist at work, outside, take a break. For instance, there are some law in Italy. After 1 hour at the laptop, working at the laptop, you have at least, after 2 hours, sorry, you have at least 15 minutes that are right. So you can just stand up, go outside, breathe some fresh air, and nobody can tell you anything, because it's your right to have that break. Okay, do something you're good at, because otherwise all the energies inside of you do not find an outlet. Accept who you are. So try to work on basically personal growth. Okay, if we do not take care of ourselves, so we do not care about personal growth, because that's the issue, everything is going to be misaligned. Care for others, because today I help you, tomorrow you help me. And helping others, it's egoistic, let's say, egoistic way of being altruist. Okay, so helping other people actually helps yourself. Okay? We like feeling like we, after we help someone, we like that sensation. Promoting a healthy workplace for mental health. So companies promote mental health. Yeah, not all the companies, of course, but many of them. So let's cut to the chase. Companies that have invested in the emotional well-being of their employees, we can see they are all big companies. Why? Because bigger companies have bigger issues, have less control over their employees, but also the bigger is the company and the more stressing is the environment, because you think about performance, you think about making money, profits, you know. So what did they come up with? Google offers, for instance, mindfulness programs, free psychological counseling, breaks during the workday. In Salesforce, you have a workday of wellness. It happened to me speaking to I don't remember which company, but I was talking. I was speaking with a friend about her job, and she said I was forced, so they obliged me, okay, to take off a day because I was burning out. So they they gave me um, a bonus to go to a spa to relax. Why? Because they know that if you relax more, if you feel more like taken care of, you produce more. Okay. Microsoft, online therapy, psychological counseling, flexible hours, work-life balance. That's the key word: work-life balance. Unilever, they have well-being programs also, flexibility at the workplace, and regenerative breaks. As you go through them, they are all the same, because you know there is no a solution that fits everybody. There are many, though. There are many solutions that can be applied to all kind of workplace. Okay, and they are mindfulness, psychological counseling, a day off, flexible hours, breaks, because they regenerate the people. Okay. Okay, we are going to end. Daily mental health checklist. For instance, if you don't know what to do, let's start checking if you're sleeping well, if you're eating food that is nourishing to you. Yeah, are you drinking enough water? 2-3 liters. If you go and do some sport, even 4 liters maybe. Move your body. Even for a walk, you don't need to to jump over the roof. Practice some mindfulness, the one that also Gabriele spoke about. Limit screen time. That's for sure something we all have to work with. Connect with others. Okay, set some small goals, not the big ones. So step by step, we can achieve a lot more with consistency. So with little steps, then to set a huge goal we cannot achieve. Okay, take some breaks, acknowledge your emotions, recognize them, give them a name, express gratitude every day. Because you're alive, so you're working, you have a roof, you have friends, you have family, you have something to be grateful for. Engage in a hobby that can help you release some, let's call them dark energies. Okay. Limit alcohol and caffeine. I would say use a drink more tea. Okay. Stay organized, because cleaning outside helps feeling cleaned. It's inside. Unwind, which is you don't have to be rich to unwind. You can go and do some hiking, listen to some music, free music on YouTube, Shopify, or taking a warm bath. Okay. I thought I had planned to have a meditation, but I don't think we have the time, right? Is anyone awake? Hola.
Hello. Yeah, yeah. I thought. Okay, so have you finished, right?
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
so if we don't have any questions, someone wants to talk or to add something.
Yeah, if anybody has any question, otherwise we may also have the meditation time. Do we have some minutes?
Only we don't have too much time left, actually.
Okay, it's okay. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much to attend this webinar focusing the mental health in youth of the Welcome Positive Attitude Erasmus Plus project. So thank you so much. Have a nice evening. Bye.